Yes. Yeah, morning all. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, right?
Yes.
Is my fine. Fine, thank you. So in the yesterday demo session, just I was discussing about this Azure data introduction to this. So cloud is majorly utilized for just I'll take 5 to 10 minutes what we have discussed in the last class. It's majorly utilized for storing, analyzing, and delivering data in various form. So generally, if we talk about the on-premises, right, we need to set up our own hardware infrastructure. On top of it, like OS installation, purchasing of database license, installation of database server, designing database objects. And to maintain all this, right, we require separate teams. Hardware team is required, operating system team is required, networking team required, security team required, database administrators required, right? But here, everything in the cloud premises, we no need to maintain all this, right? So we no need to maintain any infrastructure, no need of any licenses, right? Yes. So data engineers with the help of these cloud services, they work on the data and make it as structured and useful, right? They're responsible for smooth data flow. Data engineers will be responsible for the smooth data flow from the source to destination. So I was saying, right? Data engineer, preparing data, cleaning, filtering data, transforming data, and processing the data. So like data engineer, right? The role same like data scientist. Most of them ask the difference between this data scientist, data analyst, and data engineer, right? So data scientist strategizes for the future. Data analyst summarizes the past. So data scientist generally analyze the data. He's going to identify the key patterns, recommendations for the future, right? But analyst, he is going to analyze the data, summarizes the data of the past, and visualizing the data. Coming to this data engineering, right? Data engineer, right? Data engineer does all the groundwork for the data scientist and analyst. More than 80% of the data analysis work, 80% of data analysis work is done by data engineers. Data engineering, right? It involves what are the sources of the data, from where you are going to get the data from, what is the format of the data, how to transform the data, right? And what is the destination of the data, right? Where to move the data. Okay, the role of data Azure data engineer, right? Roles of Azure data engineer, right? Designing entire data flow architecture, and also creating a data warehouse for storage of analytical data. And the major task of this Azure data engineer is performing ETL, is one of the key tasks of data engineers, right? Yes, extracting, transforming, and load. They need to extract data from multiple sources, transform it into structured form, queryable form, and then load the data into this company's storage services for the further business evaluation, even by data scientists. Data monitoring, right? Data monitoring is also one of these tasks of this data engineer. So make sure that the ETL is performed perfectly, and that whether the data is available in each and every step, and also data security. The data need to be secured at each step without any data leaks or exposure, right? And collaboration and communication, right? Means they have to constantly communicate with the business team. Data engineers need to constantly communicate with the business team to check the requirement of the data and the format, in which format require the data, and also collaboration with the data scientist necessarily to deliver the data as per their requirement. And also they need to have, data engineers need to have the knowledge about the analytics. Means they're going to analyze the data and transform the data into structured and useful format. They need to have strong analytical knowledge to perform this analysis, and also some kind of automation automations, right? They have to automate certain processes which require minimal human interventions, right? So these are the roles of Azure Data Engineer. Yesterday, I was just giving overview of this Azure Data Engineering products or services, right? Azure SQL, Azure Data Lake, Azure Synapse Analytics, Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks, Cosmos DB, Azure Streaming, Azure Key Vault. So as a ADF developer, Azure Data Factory, ADF developer, Databricks developer, Azure Data Engineer, you are going to communicate with all these products or the services, but you are going to interact with these services, right? Just I will give an overview, like Azure SQL, right? It is a cloud or DBMS database. So Azure SQL is a cloud or DBMS database of Microsoft in Azure. It is for OLTP operations, online transactional processing. It is not for data warehouse. It is not for data warehouse. We talk about this Azure Data Lake. It is a kind of distributed file system with unlimited data storage, that too in the cloud. That is what a data lake. You have got knowledge on this big data Hadoop, right? Got HDFS, Hadoop distributed file system. It is on-premises distributed file system. Data lake, cloud DFS, distributed file system. It is a repository for large varieties of structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. So here, if I discuss more on this, 1 second. Every cloud data lake provides some benefits. Right? Yes. First thing is unlimited data storage. Unlimited data storage. Secondly, supports all varieties of data. Supports all varieties of data. Structured, unstructured, and semi-structured. Supports all formats of data. .txt, .csv, .tar, zip. In this way, any types of file, right, supports. Here, data is in files. Data in files, right, means relationship. We cannot maintain relationship, means we cannot set up relation between the files. So we cannot set up relationship between the files. So here Azure Data Lake is there. Next, I'm going to discuss like Azure Synapse. Why to go for Azure Synapse, right? Try to understand. Here data is in files, means we cannot set up relationship between the files. If data in tables, we can set up relationship. We can set up relationship by using a primary key, foreign key. For example, emp.txt file is there. In data lake, in files, right, data is stored in the form of files, dept.text. For example, some attendance.text, employee attendance.text, and salaries, employee salaries.txt file. You have got some text files like this. We cannot set up relationship. We cannot set up relationship between the files. If we have tables, we can set up relations. If there are tables are there, we can set up relations. For example, some tables. Observe these following tables. Orders. Next, sales transactions is one more table. Orders is one table. Sales transaction is one more table. Customers, products. Assume we have got some tables like this. So here, what is the relationship? Order for what? So here, order of what? A product. Order of what? Product. Booked for whom? Booked for whom? A customer. Once order confirmed. As a transaction. So here we are making order of what? Product. Product booked for whom? For this customer. Customer, once that order confirmed, it's a transaction. So what I'm expecting? So what I'm expecting here? So I'm expecting. So I'm expecting a cloud or DBMS. So I'm expecting a cloud or DBMS. The two used for data warehouse. Used for, the two I want to use for data warehouse. And the two I'm expecting parallel process, parallel processing, right? That is nothing but Azure Synapse. That is nothing but Azure Synapse Analytics. Okay, so I'm expecting a cloud or DBMS used for data warehouse. That too expecting parallel processing. There's nothing but Azure Synapse Analytics. Okay, next is coming to this Synapse Analytics. 1 second. I'll come back to this data factory, right? Azure Synapse. Here we have a database called. Here we have a database called Azure Synapse SQL Pool DB. Here we have a database called Azure Synapse SQL Pool DB. Simply saying Synapse DB. What is Synapse DB? Cloud data warehouse of Azure. Okay, so just understand this. Azure Synapse is a cloud or DBMS for data warehouse, for analytics, for batch processing, and for parallel processing. When to go for Azure Data Lake? When to go for Azure Data Lake? and when to go for Azure Synapse. See, both are in the place of data warehouse. Both are in the place of data warehouse. When to go for Azure Synapse? If data is structured. If data is unstructured. Or semi-structured. Okay. So Azure Synapse, Cloud or DBMS for data warehouse purpose. So if data is structured, it has got a database called Azure Synapse SQL Pool DB. It's for parallel processing. Next, ADF. Cloud-based ETL of Microsoft in Azure Cloud Platform. It is a data integration service. ADF creates workflows for data movement and transformation, right? So here, if I take OLTP systems here, OLTP systems at one side, and I will take data warehouses, data warehouse. So which one will act as data warehouse in this Azure? Which one acts as the, okay, first OLTP system. Say me some OLTP systems of Azure. Azure SQL is the one. And the other things on-premises one like Oracle, MySQL, right? MongoDB. These are OLTP systems. And data warehouse systems. Data warehouse stores historical data. Stores historical data. So here, what are the Azure Data Lake comes, Azure Data Lake distributed file system. Azure Synapse. Yes, where OLTP systems, you can see Azure SQL. In data warehouse, you can say data lake and Synapse. Where do you see this ADF here? Where do you see this ADF? Is my voice clear to all? Can anyone please confirm once again, right? See here, OLTP systems at one side, data warehouse systems at the other side. But where you see this ADF means ADF doesn't come as OLTP or data warehouse systems. Observe here, ADF doesn't come in OLTP. ADF doesn't come in data warehouse. ADF is an integration service. It is an integration between OLTP systems and data warehouse systems. So it is an integration service between this OLTP systems and data warehouse systems. ADF is a data integration service. So for example, today I'm doing a transaction. So tomorrow it is a history. All the transactions are captured at OLTP systems. OLTP systems, right? How to bring these transactions into this warehouse systems? How to bring the transactions? How to bring the transactions? OLTP systems to warehouse system. We have ETL. We have ETL. We have ETL tools. We have ETL tools like Informatica, Data Stage, Talent, these things. All these are on-premise. But I need ETL on cloud. But I need a ETL on cloud. That is what? ADF. So who is going to take the transactions? Who is going to pull the transactions, right? Bring the transactions from OLTP systems to data warehouse systems. It's a kind of, yes. Is my voice breaking? Is my voice clear to all? Can anyone please confirm once again? Can anyone please confirm, right? Is my voice clear to all?
Yes, we can hear clearly.
Is it breaking in the middle?
I don't see anything as such.
So how to bring the transactions from OLTP systems to warehouse means ETL means this data ADF behaves like a ETL, right? So we have already got some ETL tools like Informatica, Data Stage, and all these are on premises, but I need a ETL on cloud. That is what? ADF. So using ADF, we can connect with cloud databases, non-cloud databases, NoSQL databases, NoSQL databases. Using ADF, we extract data. Using ADF, we can extract data and pump into data lake or Synapse, and then perform transformations, right? Then perform transformations. But here it is ETL, but our working style ELT, but our working style is ELT. Extract, load, transform. It is ETL, but our working style is ELT, extract, load, and transform. So ADF extracting data and pumping the data to data lake means loading, later transforming. So when to go for ETL, right? For small volumes, of data in GBs. ELT is there for huge volumes. for huge volumes of data. Terabytes or TBs. Terabytes or petabytes. For huge volumes, ETL is bad. Okay. So up to now, what you have discussed, right? First one, Azure SQL. What is that? Cloud or DBMS? Try to respond, right? What is Azure SQL? The cloud or DBMS only for OLTP operations. Only for OLTP operations. Not for data warehouse. Not for analytics. Next second. Azure Synapse. Cloud or DBMS for data warehouse. For analytics. For batch processing. And parallel processing. What are the storage systems? Means Azure SQL is one, Azure Synapse is one, Azure Data Lake is one. Azure Data Lake. Yes, some queries asked. Azure Data Lake. Cloud distributed file system. For unlimited data storage. Parallel processing. Azure Data Factory. The cloud ETL, you can say cloud ETL. Data integration service. Now, Azure Databricks. Next is like Azure Databricks. As I said, it is Apache Spark-based data analytics platform. It brings together data engineering, data science, and business together. So first, before that, Azure Databricks. What is Databrick? What is Databricks? Provides Spark cluster. I'm not talking about Azure Databricks. Normal Databricks provides Spark cluster. Provides Spark cluster in the cloud. Cloud means, sorry, cluster means group of nodes, multiple nodes connected in the network. Provides Spark cluster in the cloud. Group of systems connected in the network, right? So just I'm not going to brief you, but what is Spark here? What is Spark? It is a very speed. This is a high-speed execution model. Execution model, right? To process huge data. To process huge data. Its features. Its features, right? Yes, a Spark has got great boom. So in our course also we'll be discussing about this PySpark in-memory computation. The main features is in-memory computation. In-memory computation means storage and processing both happening within the memory level, right? Storage happening within the memory, processing within the memory, right? Supports MPP, MMP. Supports MMP means like massive parallel process. Massive parallel process. Massive parallel processing. Lazy evaluated. Which one is better? Lazy evaluated or active evaluated? Means lazy evaluated means on demand executing the flow. On demand executing the flow, right? That is lazy evaluated. Whenever you perform any action, then only the flow has to execute. Until then, it won't execute. That is what lazy evaluated. Yeah, Spark is 100 times faster. Normal disk processing. It is 100 times faster than normal disk processing. That is the speed of a Spark. In 2016, in 2016, Yahoo tested with Spark. Having cluster capacity, having cluster, right, of 390 nodes. 390 nodes means CPUs. Task. Sorting 1 TB data. Executed in 1.2 minutes. High speed. This is high speed. Same in 2013, before Spark, Yahoo tested. With Oracle. Same task. Oracle has taken nearly 3.5 days to process it. Oracle has taken 3.5 days. MySQL has taken 6 days. Teradata, a specialized database used for data warehouse, right? Teradata has just taken 4.5 hours. Netija, it is also one of the database used for data warehouse. It has taken 3 hours. Finally, Hadoop has just taken 4.2 minutes. Hadoop plus Spark combinedly processed in 1.2 minutes. That is the speed, right? Means where is this 3.5 days, 6 days, 4.5 hours, right? Days and hours of time, but it has taken minutes of time. But problem with Spark, But problem with Spark, independently it cannot run. It needs a cluster. It needs a cluster. So like a Spark runs on premise like Hadoopian, like Hadoop. For example, assume we have 500 nodes. Assume we have 500 nodes. This 500 nodes, right? 500 nodes cluster is worthy processing, 2 TB processing 2 TB of data at a time. Understand this? 500 nodes means 500 CPUs cluster is worthy processing 2 TB of data at a time. For example, tomorrow your data value, increased. Your data volume increased. If same cluster is used, speed goes down, right? Speed goes down as data volume increased. So what we will do? So we need to scale up the cluster. We need to scale up the cluster by adding new nodes, new CPUs, right? Assume 100 nodes added. Assume 100 nodes added. And again, after 2 months, 100 nodes added. Every time, observe, every time scaling up, physical data center. Every time scaling up your physical data center is a complex task, right? Yes. So that's why I need same cluster in cloud. So that's why I need same cluster. I need same cluster in cloud. And that too with auto scaling capability. Who is providing this? Databricks. Databricks is providing this. Databricks. Spark cluster. You can say Spark cloud cluster. with auto scaling feature. Spark cluster, right? A Spark cloud cluster with auto scaling feature. Example, for example, today my data load requires 100 nodes, requires 100 nodes. Tomorrow data volume increased. It has to be extended. It has to be extended to 200 automatically. After processing is completed. After processing is completed, right? Again, it has to revert back. It has to revert back to 100 nodes. There is auto scaling. This is whatever I'm discussing. This is general Databricks. This is general Databricks. But it cannot interact. It cannot interact with my Azure storage services. Azure storage services. What are the Azure storage services? Data Lake, Azure SQL, Azure Synapse, right? That's why. Data Lake, Azure SQL, and Azure Synapse. That's why. Microsoft Databricks. Collaboratively launched a new product. Azure Databricks. So Microsoft plus Databricks collaboratively launched a new product called Azure Databricks. So what is this Azure Databricks? We say like ADB. It is a Spark cluster with auto scaling and compatible Azure storage services. Spark cluster with auto scaling and auto scaling feature and compatible with all Azure storage services. Now ADB can read from this data lake, from this Synapse DB, Azure SQL, or Cosmos DB. For normal Databricks, we need to do a lot of other settings. We need to call different other APIs. Databricks is not only for this Azure, but also for other AWS and for Google also. In Databricks, who is processing the data? Spark. With the help of data. Okay. So in Azure Databricks, Spark is the execution weapon. And if you are a developer, you provide instructions to process the data in the form of coding to perform complex transformations, right? Yes. So this is regarding Azure Databricks. I was talking about Azure Databricks is this providing a Spark cluster with auto scaling feature. Whenever required, it's auto scaling feature and compatible with all Azure storage services, right? So this once again, you can check this. This is the course content I'm going to discuss. Azure Data Factory, Databricks. So first I'll be giving this overview of all the services. Data Factory, top level concepts, pipelines, activities, linker services, data sets, triggers, integration runtime. What is pipeline? Creating new pipelines, debugging, publishing, linker service. What is linker service? Creating a linker service for blob, for SQL database, SQL server, right? Data sets. What is a data set? Creating a data set, Avro, binary, CSV, Excel, JSON, right? Activities, variables, copy data, copy files, copy data, Databricks notebook, get metadata, delete, execute pipeline, validations, filter for each, triggers, integration runtime, source control, global parameters, credentials, monitors, area of jobs, and data flow debugging, transformations, flattening, area of different, nearly like 50 working examples I'll be discussing here, right? These things. Coming to this Databricks, before I go with Databricks, some knowledge on this big data, Hadoop, Spark, cloud computing, and Azure. Creating a Azure Databricks service, Databricks cluster management, displaying clusters, starting cluster, terminating cluster, deleting a cluster, cluster logs, all-purpose cluster, job clusters, Databricks pools, cluster mode, Databricks runtime versions, Databricks utilities, data utility, job utility, library utility. It is Databricks integration with blob storage, Azure Data Lake, Azure Synapse, and Snowflake, and handling multiple file formats, CSV, JSON, Parquet files, Excel files, XML files, ORC files, Avro files, batch processing for date transformations, incremental data load, historical data load, window functions, union, Databricks streaming API, Databricks Lakehouse, Delta Lake, workflows in Databricks, Azure Synapse, overview of pull in Azure Analytics, Azure Synapse Analytics to query data lake, SQL data integration with Azure Synapse, incremental load to Azure Synapse in Azure, deep dive into copy activity in Azure Synapse, data flow introduction here, Spark pull introduction in Azure Synapse, these things in brief. So people who so here, right, some queries was asked. Okay, ADF. So first people, it takes 3 months, right? Duration is 3 months for this ADF, ADB, and Synapse Analytics. So even if you got enrolled for this Azure Azure Data Engineering, right? Whenever I start Azure Databricks, anytime you can also attend parallelly with Azure Databricks. If you want to decrease the time bound, doesn't 3 months it is too long. Then immediately after 1 week or 10 days of starting of this ADF, if any Azure Databricks batch is started, you can parallelly attend it. Okay, fine.
And how long it will take to complete Azure Data Factory? How many days?
Azure Databricks takes 1 month.
So 30 days.
Hmm.
Okay. And you have already the list like on which day what needs to be explained, right?
So ADF, if I'm going, people will, most of the students will be attending parallelly, right? Whenever
Hmm.
a new ADB batch starts, it will be starting with that. parallelly attending this ADDB. So mostly there is a proposal of starting a Databricks batch in the weekend, Saturdays and Sundays, so that anybody can attend it, right? So fine. Otherwise, one after the other, if you want to go after this ADB will be started. So everything
So
and
ADF will be 30 sessions, correct?
30 to
Max,
35
max
sessions,
25,
35.
35. Okay. Mhm. And it is only from Monday to Friday, right?
Monday to Friday.
Okay. And so from next Monday onwards, are you going to start ADF or?
Tomorrow just I'll be giving that, but I didn't okay. Tomorrow I'll be just briefing you about some other things, but immediately after day after tomorrow onwards, I'll be starting with this area.
Okay, so 15th onwards.
Mhm.
Okay.
Because just we have got a huge syllabus, right? Just
Yeah.
during this, I want to spend more time in the practicals.
Okay. And the dynamic mapping, you will explain in ADF, right?
Yes,
Dynamic mapping
yes,
and the mappings importing from the JSONs and XML.
yes, all that.
Okay.
Um,
And
And
once if we learn the ADF, so can we put experience like 3 to 5 years
yes,
after the course, right?
yes, compulsorily. So
Okay.
here, so I said once again the timings of this batch. First 1 week, 10 days it will be at 10 a.m. it starts. For the first 10 days it will be at 10 a.m. After that, after 10 days, it will be starting at 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. in the morning. So before you go with the payment, just see the timings, right? For 10 days, it will starts at 10 o'clock. From 11th day onwards, it will be at 9 o'clock in the morning. And see, you will be getting that recorded video. Live session videos. Each and every video you'll be getting, right? Even if you miss any session, 1 or 2 sessions in the middle, you can go through it and attend the next class notes, clear class notes, and a WhatsApp group will be created. Assignments and tasks to work. And interview questions will be provided. So this is from my side, right? So video, class notes, WhatsApp group, assignments and tasks, and interview questions. This is the timings. Duration is 3 months. And people who wants only ADF, right? So or ADF like nearly 35, say 35 hours it goes, 35 to 40 hours it goes. Fine. You can see in the chart, right? The online team has posted. If you are absent to the yesterday's session, right? Can you see that they have provided demo video, right? You can just click that. You can copy that link was posted in the YouTube, right? And also the AD course content, ADF course content. Okay, fine.
And recordings and class notes will be shared through mail, right? Not in the WhatsApp or any other.
So here, videos you will be getting to your Google Drive. Videos you will be getting to your Google Drive. Every day, one video will be added to your Google Drive. That is Google. That is Gmail. Notes you will be getting to this mail.
Okay.
Yeah, one doubt.
Yes.
Currently working on PL SQL. So should I learn the SQL Server again?
You mean to this for updating with this Azure SQ, this what is that ADE?
ADF. Yeah.
ADE not required.
Okay. Can we use the PL SQL only? I mean,
Uh,
will that flavor works here?
So here one thing, what are the prerequisites is some basic SQL is the prerequisite and
Mhm.
basic Python is the prerequisite.
For
Instead, if you
ADF also.
ADF no, for data Azure
Mhm.
Databricks with PySpark if you want, right? PySpark you require some basic Python knowledge, right?
Mhm.
So in the case of ADF, we won't write much codings. It's a
Okay.
zero coding ETL tool, right? Totally drag and drop and it will perform the things, right? In Databricks, we'll be
Okay.
writing code.
Okay. Any certification recommendation for ADF once
Uh,
we
I,
finish the
I,
ADF?
yeah, I'll intimate that. I'll take separate session on that.
Okay. Thank you.
So
EDF is look like
Pardon?
Informatica.
Pardon?
EDF is look like Informatica.
Yes, it looks almost.
Yeah.
okay, I have got some questions like related to this class. Like this is my first class I joined. Somehow I missed the yesterday's was I tried like no I was keeping an eye on the timeline, but somehow I missed it. I don't know how. Maybe because of the CST versus a study, so that could be a reason. But yeah, so how many classes has already been completed till today?
Yesterday, just introductory session. Today is the second one.
Okay, so can I get the access to the studies class if possible?
You can see in the chart, right? In the chart, can you see a big message given by this online team? Can you
Okay.
see a big course contents, and below the course content, you can see the demo video.
Mm-hmm. I don't see that, but yeah, I'll contact the team if in case.
Okay, one second. Can you see the contact details?
Contact detail. I'm not getting that exactly, but okay, I'll contact the team or
Yes.
someone from DURGASOFT. Just let's
Okay.
not just waste the time on it. So my second question is like the timings are you mentioned that after a week it will be changed to 9 a.m.
Mhm.
So is there any possibility that you will again change the time from 9 a.m. to some other
No.
going forward
No.
after?
So whatever is there, I am pre-intimating before itself, before you go with the payment process, right? Nothing. It
Right.
will be up to the end of the course, the same timing.
Okay, great. So after 9 a.m., it's not gonna change. So
Yes.
that's gonna be the permanent.
Yes.
Okay, so the timing works for me. Anyway, so like this PySpark you mentioned that we're gonna learn. So is this something that we're gonna learn it in a deeper way, or like some basics of or some day-to-day
The main
whatever we
things.
use?
So the main things, whatever, everything I'll be briefing you about it. The main topics of that PySpark, everything I'll be briefing.
Okay. And how about this area of exercises, which I see there are around 50 exercises
Everything,
as well.
everything will be discussing as part of the course, right?
Okay, and we'll also be doing like working 1 hour individually, if that's correct.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. That's all.
Okay. Tomorrow also everyone can attend the session, same time, using the same link, right? 10 o'clock using the same link to see more on this. Tomorrow you can attend, but from day after tomorrow, the link will be changing, right? You are supposed to get enrolled for getting that link, for getting the videos, notes, and other things, right? Yes, fine. So yeah. So if I'm done with your queries, I will sign off for now. Meet you tomorrow, same time. Thank you all for your time. Thank you, mate.